All right. So, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. And you all know who I am. I'm Sharon, right? I'm related to one of yous. I work with one of yous, and the other two, I know recently through our little spiritual circle and realm here. But I'm gonna just go over really quick why I'm doing what I'm doing. So this is our Manifest Monthly. It's the first one. I wanted to have one last month, but there just wasn't enough time to pull it together. And I anticipate that we would get more attendance next month. So I don't know if you know, but 222, February 22nd is a portal day today. So there's there's meetings going on, there's workshops going on, there's like everybody's doing something today because it's like a big energetic day. So I did get a lot of interest, but not today because it's 222 and that's okay. Um, so I just wanted to take a quick minute and just review my life in review. Like I said, most of you know my story, but just in case, I'm not going to bore you with all kinds of crazy details. But back in 2017, I was very unhealthy. I was very overweight. I was very much in debt. I had a great paying job, but I was super miserable at it. My life was just not, something had to give. There was just this point for me where I was like, there's got to be more than this, right? It's just got to be something else going on. Something's got to give. I'm not happy. I'm not healthy. So one step at a time. I had to have back surgery back in the beginning of 2017, and which that kind of led me down the path to yoga, which was awesome because it helped me physically recover from my surgery, my injuries. And then the yoga world just kind of everything just kind of manifested and kept going and going. And then eventually, wow, here I am 6 years later now. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I'm healthy financially. I don't have any debt. I now co-own a yoga studio. That wasn't even something I wanted to manifest, but it manifested on its own. There's a lot of neat things that went on here, but between then and now, I've done a lot of spiritual studying. I've done, yoga teacher training, 500 hours worth of it. I've done a lot of different retreats, workshops, book studies, life coaching. I mean, you name it, I've done it. And when I say I'm probably into the tens of thousands of dollars in self-help. I'm not kidding. Um, and that's not like, oh, I spend thousands of dollars on something. This is all the little stuff. I pay for this workshop. I pay for this mastermind. I pay for this class, this course, there's a lot. And I am super passionate about sharing what I know because I know it works. I know that for me in my life, controlling what I manifest is possible. And it's amazing when it happens. And when I get other people on board and they start telling me what's going on in their lives, it's super rewarding for me. There's a lot of teachers out there, there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of influencers, and I just want to be that person that kind of picks and chooses all the little things that works and bring it to you. Um, and I wanted to create this just free content once a month. I figured it was easy. Just do it out of your own home. Just pop on and maybe we can share our stories or share our goals and maybe hold ourselves accountable. I'm going to give you something to do each month if you wanted to try this out for a few months, like a little exercise to get to the next step. And yeah, that's why I'm here. I just want to help you out. And it just lights me up when I'm going to share some stories right now, but when people tell me the effects of what I've taught them, how it's unveiling itself in their lives, it's just a beautiful thing. So back on December 30th, now I've held manifestation workshops before, but on December 30th, I held what was called Manifest Your Best 2023. So Megan and Nicole, you were there for that, right? And there was about 12 people there. I think it was 12. And it's so really cool because I had somebody tell me, so we did a challenge, and the challenge was to manifest anywhere between 500 and $1,000 to pick a number, and that's what you're going to manifest. So we went over a bunch of different ways to shift your energy and mindset to get to that point, different things you can do, and I'll get into them in future meetings, but I just wanted to share that I have these written down that somebody wanted to manifest $1,000, and within a month she manifested two, which was really cool. Another person wanted to manifest $600. That would be my daughter, by the way, and she did. She manifested that and way more. Um, I have another person who manifested a new job. I manifested 300 extra dollars a month in my pay, which was kind of cool. And then I actually got some free tattoo work, which was like worth like $800 or so. So yeah, I'm beyond my thousand. We're good there. Somebody else told me that they got a rainy day check from their father just for no reason. And it was the exact number she wanted to manifest, which was cool. And then Nicole, you shared with me that you got a check from work or something, an unexpected check from work. You are muted.
Yes, our company just got bought out and they are giving us like a stipend to go towards like some of the benefits and stuff.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so that was nice. It's going to be, I think it's like $3,000 over
Ah,
the
sweet.
payment.
That's
So
awesome.
it's new money to me. So that's good.
That is so awesome. And then one last thing, one of the other ladies, she didn't want to manifest money. Money is not what she's after. She's after knowledge. Going into that next phase of her life. She's getting into retirement, that phase, and she wants to be able to give back to the world. And she didn't know what she could do. And actually, that night at the workshop, I said, "Oh, by the way, there's yoga teacher training coming up," and she signed up for it, and she's doing that, and she's really loving it, and she's loving what she's learning because we teach mindset stuff right now. We're even diving into Abraham Hicks and things like that, and she's just absolutely loving it. It's what she wanted, so that's what she manifested. So I just thought that was really cool. But when people share those stories with me, I just get so like, yes, warm inside. I can like, yay, and I will be your personal cheerleader. I swear, because I love that when it happens to people around me because we all are energy. We're all from the same source. We all have this capability. We just don't all know it. Um, we take in different beliefs and stories from our childhood and our parents and our teachers and bosses and just people around us that we convert it into our own little truths, and it just kind of blocks the way to be able to let the abundance in everything just flow free. So we're not just talking about financial abundance, but I told you I focused a lot on my health too. There's health abundance, there's relationship abundance, love abundance. Any abundance comes in so many different forms. So whatever it is that you're looking for, you can have it. So that's basically what I wanted to open with, just to tell you why I'm doing this. And yeah, so we're going to just continue onward here. So I do have to pop my glasses on, apologize, but try not to do it. I'm gonna have to learn how to do that under the eye makeup too if I'm gonna do these every month. I noticed that I got some serious baggage going on there. Anyway, um, so the Manifest Your Best 2023 workshop, just real quick, I want to tell you. So we did one on the 30th of December 30th, and the goal was to manifest between 500 and $1,000 by St. Patty's Day, we said. So on March 18th, I'm having a follow-up workshop. So it's Manifest Your Best 2023 continued. You didn't have to go to the last one to come to this one, but we're going to be diving into, I think we're going to be talking a lot about the spiritual universal laws because I really feel like the more you understand the laws of the universe, you'll understand what the playbook is, like how it works and how to make it work for you. And some of these you already know. You've heard of the law of vibration, you've heard of the law of attraction, law of karma is another one, or law of cause and effect. Other natural laws are like law of gravity. We're not going to talk about law of gravity, but we're going to be talking more about the spiritual ones. But there's 12 of them that I think we're going to review. And I'm going to show you how to use the knowledge of that to your advantage. So that's going to be on March 18th. And then these manifest monthly, I'd like to continue on the last Wednesdays of every month. It's the same link, so you already have it. All right. So if you use that again, it's good till the end of the year. And if you need it again, we could always get it to you again. Every one of you has my contact info. So if you need it, you can just reach out to me and we'll make sure we get it to you. So we talk a lot about in the manifestation world energy, that everything is energy. You are energy, what you're sitting on is energy, the computer you're looking at or whatever it is that you're using is energy. Everything is energetic, right? There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's another universal law. Everything is made of energy. But the energy is different, which is why things look differently, or maybe they smell differently or feel a little different. And this includes you. Your body is an energy, your mind is an energy, your thoughts are energy, your feelings and emotions are energy, your spirituality is energy. Everything about you is energy. And when we talk about your overall vibration of that energy, which is covered in the law of vibration, why it's key is because the law of vibration states that like energy attracts like energy. So if you are vibing or have a overall vibration of a certain level and you want something that vibrates at this level, well, you got to become a match to that level in order to be able to draw it in. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. So when I say energy, the one thing I wanted to talk about, um, so we know that the higher vibrational emotions are like happiness and love and gratitude is a big one, right? Those are the higher vibrating emotions. And then the lower vibrating emotions are like your anger and jealousy and not depression. I don't want to say depression. Guilt is a big one. Shame, those are kind of really much lower vibrational energies, and that will bring you down if you live there. Not saying that we don't have moments where we don't get angry. Of course, you're going to get angry at something or someone along the way. It happens, right? But how quickly can you pull yourself back from it is really what it comes to. We're going to have positive and negative emotions, but where is your your vibrational set? Where is that, on the scale of the highest to the lowest? Where are you? Right? And the way to know that is to tune into your emotions. So this is where I want to throw in a little bit of a warning here, because one of the things that I did when I was before my spiritual awakening, so to speak, years ago, is I plastered a smile on my face, but I was dying inside, right? Everybody thought I was happy. Everybody thought I was just this positive person and just kind of took things in. And I was the one that fixed everything. And I was the one that, I did so much, but I never did me. I never fed my inner world, right? I just gave and I gave and I gave and I gave. And that's that point that I got to back in 2017 where I was like, something's just got to give. I don't have any more to give right now. So pretending that you're happy and upbeat, even though you're not, is not going to increase your vibration. Just so that you know, I just want you to understand that, because I hear people say, I'm trying to smile through it. Okay, well that's great, but no, let's get through it. Let's feel it out. Let's figure it out. Let's you know what I mean? Let's get dirty and figure out the root causes of things, and let's get in there, because manifestation, this is just so great, and I've heard this in different ways too. Manifestation is an inside job, right? Spirituality is an inside job. Everything that you have in your world right now is a reflection of what's going on inside. Okay. It's a reflection of who you truly are. And it's such a key point to understand. So one of the things that you can do to kind of gauge where you are on that vibration scale is to walk through your day, try to be more conscious of it, and ask yourself this question throughout the day. How am I feeling? How do I feel right now? right? Am I generally genuinely grateful for what I have right now? Great, or maybe I'm kind of beating myself up over something that happened 10 years ago and I'm still not letting go of the guilt that I feel of whatever it is that I caused. That's guilt, by the way, is your number one thing to tackle. To just get rid of all your guilt right now because you can't change the past. I know it's much easier said than done, but that's where like shadow work comes in and that, journaling is really good. Like all those deep spiritual practices that we all know and have talked about, that's where all that stuff comes into play because you really do have to get deep down in and begin to release some of that yucky stuff in order for you to be able to experience the openness that comes when you get rid of all of that. So go through your day, maybe for the next few days or next week, and just try to remember to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Am I trying to put on a happy face, but I'm really not happy at all? Am I putting up with something that I shouldn't have to? Am I angry about something? Am I really still pissed off about that time when this guy like got in my face and confronted me about something? I don't know. I'm just throwing up things, like things that happened in the past. Is it still affecting you in some way? Or are you just generally going throughout your day and, you know, just neutral? Maybe you're just neutral. Maybe you're not feeling anything. And that's okay too. But that's going to give you a really good idea of where you are in that overall scale. So the way to increase the overall vibration isn't, like I said, putting on a smile on your face and just trying to plug your way through it, but it really is to kind of dig a little bit deeper. And we can get more into this later on in further months, but all you need to do is clear the energy, clear the messiness, right? In that infinite source. We're all connected. We are part of this infinite source. I emphasize that because when I start to think small, I have to remind myself of that. There's an infinite source out there that's accessible to you. But what you need to do is kind of pick out all those little things that are blocking the view. Megan did a yoga class this morning and it was just beautiful. She was talking about the chakras and the energy. And, sometimes you get a little smudge on the lens there and you kind of got to wipe it off. Well, that's what we're talking about. We're just talking about clearing the view, clearing the path for that abundance because abundance is like water. It's going to flow through its least path of least resistance. And it's so, so true. I am here to tell you that it is all very, very true. Um, so that is something that you can do over the next few days or even week or even month. Journaling is a good way of doing it. How did I feel today? What were some emotions I felt today? If you don't want to ask yourself throughout the day or you forget to, take a couple of minutes at some point in time and just generally write out, what did you experience throughout the day? Doesn't have to be really long, just something that's going to bring your awareness. And then after you do it for a few days, or maybe even a week or a month, you'll begin to see some patterns and you'll begin to see, uh, you know, the number of times you were happy versus the number of times that you were not, or the number of times that you felt grateful, or the number of times you felt fearful. And you can actually see where you are, which is a really good way to guide you to where you need to go. Sometimes we don't even realize how negative we are. I mean, I'll give you an example. I just got a text message a little while ago before we started from a friend who went from owning his own business and he sold it and they were compensating him very nicely for it. He made a really good amount of money after taxes in his paycheck and he literally sent me sad faces and boo-hoo and all this stuff. Do you realize how negative you're being right now? But you make more than most people, like so. But that happens to us too, but we don't realize it until we actually sit back and kind of take a different, perspective view of ourselves. So that is something that you can do to kind of gauge where you are. And then we'll always get into different things that you can do to boost your vibration or whatever. But getting to know yourself and knowing where you are is like a really big first step. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, um, speaking of emotions, because emotions are key and they're like the biggest guidance system. That's one of the things that Abraham Hicks says all the time. Your emotions are your spiritual compass. They're your guidance system. They will guide you to whether or not a decision is good for you or not, or, whenever you're feeling a negative emotion about anything, the only thing that you're feeling is that you're not in alignment with that thing, right? So if you're like trying to make a decision about something and it just doesn't feel quite right, listen to that because that's your intuition, that's your inner guidance system. It's telling you that this is not really in line with what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to save up money because you're trying to, I don't know, whatever goal it is that you have, and then you go and you see this awesome pair of shoes and they're $100 and you're like, man, I really want to buy them for myself. But you feel this discord because it's not in alignment with the goal that you already set. It's just an alignment thing. When you think about energy is very neutral. So when you think of it as not good or bad, because it's not good or bad, it's just a guidance system. It's just kind of telling you what's in alignment with your highest good. So there's many different examples we can get into with that. But one of the things I wanted to share as far as tools go, and Rebecca, you got to hear this last month, or yeah, earlier in the month when I had that speaking gig at the Psychic Healing Expo. I'm kind of reviewing the same thing, and so this is something that you can do over the next month. You could start with 1 to 5 goals. I've done this for a couple years now, so and I started small, but now I'm getting a little bigger. And it's been really kind of fun. So on New Year's Eve, which is a really good day for me, I go through and I kind of just write out everything that happened in the past year, good or bad. Just kind of what happened, what were the high points, what were the low points, and then I just kind of list out what I learned from them and things like that. And then I just kind of look at it and I go, all right, where do I want to be at the end of next year when I do this again? What goals do I want to accomplish? What do I want? And don't be afraid to think big here, by the way. You can think as big as you want. There are no limits. You are absolutely limitless. That is the biggest breakthrough you could possibly have when it comes to manifesting is understanding that you are a limitless spiritual being with unlimited powers. You just have to find it, right? So anyway, one of the things that I do is I list out my goals and this is my goal journal here. It's just a little notebook, right? And I have on each page one goal written out. So, like I said, you could do like 1 to 5. I have 20 goals right now. Soon to be 18 because 2 of them are on the verge of being completed, which is really cool. But anyway, on each page, what I do is I list out what the goal is, what it looks like when it's completed, right? And then I close my eyes and I just really envision this goal being already done. It's already manifested, it's already here. And I'll use my first one, just like I did in a couple weeks ago, and it's a new house. And what does that new house look like to me? And I imagine myself in it, and I am really tuning in to how I feel having this house now, having this goal, having it being completed. What does it feel like being in there in that completed goal? So for me, I write those emotions down, by the way. I always come up with 3 to 5 emotions. And for me, I am happy, I'm safe, ecstatic, proud, I'm grateful, and grounded. Okay. So once you understand the emotions that you'll have with a goal that's already been completed, that's how you tune into bringing yourself into that energy and so that you can become an energetic match to that goal. So on a daily basis, how can I feel happy? How can I feel safe? How can I feel ecstatic? How can I feel grateful, proud, and grounded? I make sure that I feel that emotion at some point during my day, every single day. It doesn't have to cost you any money. I can go get a hug from Rick. I feel really safe, right? I'm grateful. I live in a constant state of gratitude. I am grateful every single day. All of my affirmations start with I am grateful. So gratitude comes very easily for me. Happy. I mean, sometimes we have a bad day, but what can I do to get happy? I can go talk to my daughter, my special needs daughter upstairs and make her smile. And that just makes me so happy, right, Lynn? Like that's
Oh
just
yeah.
sheer happiness right there. You can find these emotions, doesn't matter how you find them, but find them on a daily basis and begin to live them because that's how you become an energetic match to what you desire. The next thing that I do is I write out an affirmation, and it, like I said, it always starts with I am grateful for. So after I've listed my goal and what it looks like, I list my emotions, and then in my affirmation, I have this one in particular, I am grateful for living in my dream home. It's just simple. I am grateful. I am grateful that this goal is done. I am grateful. And then I just imagine it being completed and done because that's just telling the universe that I have faith that it will happen, right? And then I take it a step further. I recorded my affirmations. So every morning I listen to my voice in the car on the way to the gym. And I literally started off with, welcome to your affirmations, Sharon. And I even end it with, have a wonderful, fantastic, high vibrational day. I love you. I tell myself I love myself. And I say it back to myself every day. I'm telling you, stuff is a little goofy, but it's going to overall bring up your overall vibration. And affirmations are amazing, especially when they come from you not just somebody's recording out on the internet. I mean, you can do that, and if you could bring emotion into them, that's great. But when you come into your own goals and your own affirmations, there's just something really magical about them. So I make sure I do that every day. I just listen to myself every day, and I repeat my affirmations in the car every day. Or sometimes I'll listen to them at night. I'll pop my earbud in, just go to sleep to my voice, which is really weird at first, but I promise it gets easier. Um, because some people don't like the sound of their voice. I didn't like it either. And I was a singer way back in the day and I didn't like my voice, but I love my voice now. So you will get used to it. And I trust it because I created it, you know. So there's a lot of recordings. I'm not saying that this is a thing. It's just my own little weird thing, but like, you know, the subliminal messaging and the hypnotic this and that. Well, I don't really know what's on this, you know. So I just like to record myself and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's what I wanted to give you for this month to go ahead and you can start with one goal. You can start with something small. In my 20 goals, I have small and big. And I have all in between. Doesn't matter how big or small. And I have full confidence that, well, there's one I'm not confident in because I really went big with it. But I know I will get there eventually, but maybe not by the end of this year. But that's just my own limiting belief, right? And I can bust through that. And that's the cool thing about manifestation, especially this kind of a gathering. We can support each other because I'm still on this path. It's just that I've gotten the tools and I've really studied, what works and what doesn't. And that doesn't mean that what works for me will work for you. And it doesn't mean that things that don't work for me won't work for you, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying don't go out there and don't explore anything because we all respond differently to different things. You could hear the same thing said by one person 1,000 times, and somebody else will say just a little differently, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, so don't feel like what I'm saying is gold. I'm just offering you what I definitely feel has worked for me. And this by far has been really cool. So one other thing I should mention is that once a week after I'll actually read through these once a week and I write out actions and I just create little actions and then I have like a separate area here where I actually have action lists. I'm trying to flip through it because I also do a lot of research and I write a lot of notes down. But anyway, I have action lists as well. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but they get checked off as they get done. And then I actually won't create a new list until the whole previous list is checked off. And it helps keep me moving forward on each goal. And it could be the simplest thing as, and Lynn, you're in this book too, because one of my goals is to have a full-time nanny team for my daughter to help me out to give me some more free time. And one of the action items is to make sure I have someone to watch Maddie at least once a week and to text Lynn. So Lynn watches my daughter and I will write in there, text Lynn about this Wednesday, so it can be the simplest of things. Megan, your son's in here, talk to Megan about her son helping me with technical stuff because I suck at it, right? So it could be little steps, it could be big steps. But just as long as you keep checking them off and keep moving forward, you're going to get to this goal eventually. Some things are a little cloudier than others. For me, technology is really, really a hindrance, and I have a difficult time with it. So, I'll put in there research this, and I'll go, and eventually it'll be on my checklist. And well, I can't move on until I have it done. So then I'm on to Google or whatever it is that I'm looking for to research. Like right now, my research is how to create a banner for YouTube. I was doing that this morning, So um, there's it's a really neat little trick to keep you moving in a forward direction. And you don't have to get the checklist done within a day. I usually get the checklist done within the week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. It depends if there's something going on in my life that's kind of prevent me from getting to different things and I got to tend to family and whatever. It happens, right? Life happens. But that's generally what I do on a very consistent basis to keep me moving forward towards my goals. So we are already 40 minutes into this. Wow. What I wanted to do is just kind of use the last portion of this hour. I'd love to hear from you and what it is that you're trying to manifest. And is there a question that you might have, or um, is this something that you're excited to try, or something you've already tried doesn't really work for you, or talk to me if anybody wants to go first. So, like, would you be able to come the last Wednesday of March, and what is it that you intend to accomplish by then? And I'm not saying you have to make $1 million by the end of March. That's not where I'm going with this. Just a goal, you know. Are you willing to try what I've given you here? Talk to me.
Well, I'll say
know what?
one of the things that I learned from the December meeting that we had that I wasn't aware of that I was doing was that when I get down, I listen to sad music and I listen and listen and listen and listen. And I love it so much because it like helps me purge all these emotions, but kind of had an epiphany that I was actually keeping myself there. So I've been really cognizant lately about like, every once in a while I'll put on like I'll listen to it, but I won't do it for like 2 hours a day. So
Right.
that's already been a big change for me to kind of be a little bit more cognizant of my mindset throughout the day. And just from your conversation tonight, I realized that my intentions are there, but I'm actually not. It seems like I'm too passive. Like I'm not
Okay.
actually taking steps to accomplish anything like write something down or, going through the thought process of like taking steps to kind of get me into that. So I'm definitely going to start. I'm going to pick one goal because
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that I have to pick a lane. People tell me all the time, pick a lane, Nicole, because I have so many ongoing projects right now. So I'll just pick one goal and I'll start with the recommendations that you gave. So
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
awesome. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yeah, so another universal law that we'll be talking about in the next workshop in March is the law of action. So you can sit down on the couch for 7 hours or 8 hours a day and totally imagine everything that you want and attempt to bring it into your life, but you have to do a little bit of work. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be, stressful or whatever, but the universe needs to know that you're going to give a little,
Mhm.
not just take. So law of action is key. And like I said, it could be the smallest of steps, but just so long as it gets you just a little bit closer, then you're getting closer and closer to that goal. That's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to share anything? Somebody going to unmute and talk?
You already know what I have to manifest this month, so I'm already been
Yes.
starting on it.
Yes.
So I've already made, I've already done a couple phone calls, and earlier after I got home, instead of going upstairs where I got sad, I started writing. So
Good. Yeah, journaling is a really great way. It's a really good tool to use to just to clear the air within, right? Just let it come out. Journaling is so great. Um,
and it was fun. It was funny. One of the first things I put in there was how Maddie smiled when I went upstairs and put the hoodie over my head. I
yeah,
mean, that was funny because you told me she wasn't feeling too good, and she put her hoodie up. I put my hoodie up, and we both started laughing. That was the best.
yeah. If you guys
That was
ever need
great.
like pure, unadulterated happiness and you want to meet my daughter, come on over. I'm looking for a nanny team anyway. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, find your joy. Find whatever it is that makes you smile, makes you happy. That's another way to increase your vibe. There's so many ways to do it. Rebecca, I know you're dying to tell me something.
I just actually had a question. And I think I might ask you at the expo too, and it's kind of a similar question, but I
Okay.
think it has to do a lot with manifestation. And whenever I am working on manifesting something, I feel like I struggle a little bit to recognize the difference between like, say that I'm manifesting that, like when you manifest, you should be specific in what you're manifesting, but like
Right.
how do you let go of like do you specifically say I am manifesting a new car and I am manifesting a BMW that's blue with a leather steering wheel and like and then when you don't get that but you get a new car, you've still manifested this wonderful thing that you should be so grateful and thankful for, but like I struggle to manifest because it's a gray line of like being specific, but like being okay with that it might not be blue and it might not have a leather steering wheel, you know. But if that's
Now
the
this is
specific thing,
you did ask this before, and I didn't get to completely tackle it the way I wanted it to, and I actually thought about this a while after that meeting. So when what I'm detecting here is a little bit of fear that I won't be able to manifest exactly what I want. Like there's a little bit of a hesitancy or a limiting belief that I can get close to what I want, but I can never get the specific one thing that I want. And I'm here to tell you that you can get the specific thing that you want because whatever color you said, let's just say the blue Beamer with the leather seats and whatever does exist out in the world, does it not?
sure, sure.
Yeah, it's already out there. It's just a matter of bringing it into your reality. And I will tell you that most of the gurus out there will tell you to be as specific as you can.
Okay.
And then the last thing I just wanted to say to that is one of the biggest things that I learned over, I'm going to say maybe even the last 6 months was put your desires out there. Don't be afraid to be specific and let go of how it's going to manifest. So all you need to do is put it out there, right? Which I got news for you. That Abraham Hicks, the vortex that she talks about, it's already out there in your vortex. So you already put it out there. You know what you want. Your higher self knows what you want, right? But to let go of how it's going to happen. If you can just trust that, all you need to do is dream it up and, you know, get to that vibe, get to that energetic match of it. How will you feel when you sit in that car and it's yours and you're driving it for the first time? What are those feelings? And find those feelings on a daily basis. Bring yourself to that match. And then the other thing is too is your actions. So if you are saving up for a car and you're putting away a little bit every week or whatever it is that you're doing, and you're starting to go out to the dealerships or whatever, get specific with them. Tell them what you want.
Okay.
You know, and then even if it's a little bit more, because we know leather seats are a little bit more expensive or whatever, okay, so now you know you need to budget a little bit more. You can manifest whatever it is that you want. But you're going to have to take a little bit of action to get there. But don't be afraid of, well, I don't want to do this because I don't know that I'm going to get it. I had this is a little bit different, but I'm going to say 2 weeks ago, one of the things that people talk about a lot is asking the universe for a sign like, hey, universe, if I'm on the right path, I want you to show me this, right? And I never, ever, ever did it. I never did it because I had the same fear that I wasn't going to get that sign.
Mhm.
So I'm like, what am I afraid of here? What exactly am I afraid of? So I actually kind of tuned into that and kind of let it go a little bit. And I went, screw it, I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, universe,
Okay.
if I'm on the right path, I want you to show me an 11 and 11 sometime today. So not only this was, by the way, Megan, on one of our meeting days, because we meet at 11 o'clock, right? Not only did somebody send me a message when I looked at my phone, it said 11:11, and then I happened to look at the computer at the same time as Megan was talking, and my computer went 11:11. But then somebody texted me a screenshot of her 11:11 and said, "Look what time we sent this! Oh my gosh, this is 3:11:11s like right in a row." And I'm like, "Well, boom! What was I so afraid of?" You know? So when you're not getting the specific details, it's not that you're not the best manifester in the world because you are. Everything you have currently in your current physical world, you have manifested in some way, right? It doesn't mean that you have a little less power than you think you do. It just means you're limiting yourself a little bit. So clear the smudge a little. Let's get rid of that limiting belief. You know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to dream it. Again, don't be afraid to be grateful for what you already have as well. Gratitude, gratitude is the biggest multiplier there is, right? Does that better answer your question than I did last time? I think I was really nervous in front of a room full of people.
No, that's okay. Yeah, definitely. The deeper explanation really helps. Again, I just sometimes I'm like, I want to manifest travel, but like specifically, there's not really one specific place that I want to travel to. It's more that I want to travel to become more like culturally open and competent and kind of like open up that heart chakra. But so like I don't I don't really care where I travel to, so it's hard to get specific with it. The why of why I want to travel is there, but like I can't tell the universe where I want to go because that doesn't matter, you
Because
know.
you don't know where you want to go.
Right. So it's like sometimes the specifics trip me up. That's all.
So go somewhere. If it doesn't matter, go somewhere.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Thank
That's
you.
an easy
I think
one.
it's hard to not think technically about things when
Mm,
it's like be specific, but like I guess the specific is what that specific means to you.
yeah, yeah. Sounds like you're after more of an experience than it is a specific place.
Right.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
how do you manifest that experience? That's what you want to talk about. That's what you want to get detailed with. It doesn't have to be traveling per se. You could just go to a French restaurant down the road if you want.
Right, right.
You know, I mean, it could be anything.
Sure.
But if it doesn't matter to you, oh my gosh, let's go take a weekend trip somewhere.
Mhm. Sure.
You know?
Thank you.
And then once you get the feel of that, you might be guided to where you want to go next.
Sure.
Yeah. Take the
Thank you.
action. Yeah. All right, Megan, I know you're the last one here, so you got to speak.
Okay. So I think I do have an idea for a goal for the next month, but it's going to be interesting. When you were talking about the emotions and the asking, what am I feeling and all, and you were saying, pretending that you're happy and always smiling. I do have a tendency to sort of push away and ignore, like, if I'm upset, I don't want to be upset. I don't like it. So just make it go away and then start smiling. And so it's going to be interesting because I think I'm going to try to not to just really work on tuning in and tapping into, all right, what am I really feeling right now? Not the veneer that I'm putting on top of it. What is
Right.
really going on? And I've always been a little intimidated by journaling because in my mind it makes whatever I'm thinking and feeling real
Mm,
because you're writing it down. It is on paper. And so I've always had a little bit, I've had some issues with journaling where I feel like, no, I can't write my thoughts down because then it makes them real. So I think I'm really gonna try though for this next month to get myself a journal and write some goals and yeah, ask myself a couple of times a day, all right, what am I really feeling? What are my emotions right now? And write it down no matter what it is and no matter what's going on in my head at the moment. Just write it down. See what happens.
that is beautiful. And it is real. It's real for that moment, but it doesn't mean it's your truth, you know? It doesn't mean that you're going to feel that way forever. You know, it doesn't mean, I think that's beautiful that you're going to get more in tune with you. Um, and just a little thing to that, when you start to do that, you become more authentic to your own self and you might challenge other people in your life with that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's because people are going to see that you're responding a little differently and maybe setting new boundaries. And sometimes it challenges people's perception of you. I know that's what happened with me with certain even people in my own family.
Hmm.
You know, it happens when you start to really be true to yourself and you've always been the giver or the fixer. And I'm not saying that you are, that's just kind of my own experience. And then you start
Mhm.
to not give as much because you're starting to nurture your own self. People respond to that, and sometimes not in the most positive way. Um, but just, yeah, notice
Yeah.
that too. Because if you begin to respond out of guilt because of it, because, oh, you don't want that person to feel that way, well, just come to you first. But I think that's a beautiful goal, Megan. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it
I
was
think that's,
interesting because on Friday when we did the workshop with Cheryl, my card was dig deeper. And
mm,
it's awesome. And I was like, and then as you're talking, I'm like, all right, fine. And I did have a little bit of um, like a little bit of a light bulb moment recently where, and I'll get a little, uh, growing up, my parents fought a lot when I was
okay.
growing up because we were firmly like middle, lower, we didn't have extra money. So
Mhm.
there was a lot of tension growing up. And I realized that recently, took me, quite a while to come to this realization that I have a tendency to do everything that I possibly can to not argue with people because there was so much tension. And my parents, they're doing great now. But as my brother and I were growing up, there were a lot of money issues. And so they were constantly arguing and I felt that tension in the house all the time. So yeah, and then when I read that dig deeper card, I'm like, all right, I guess I have to actually unpack this and start to work on these emotions.
Oh man, Megan, that's awesome. Yeah, you are being guided for sure. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can't ignore that. That's
No.
that is awesome. I am so wow, I'm so thrilled to hear that. And thank you for sharing. Thank you all for sharing, you know, what your experience is and what you want to do over the next month. If you have any questions about anything, and by the way, you can touch base with me anytime you want. You all have my number. You know, if you want to just throw out something that, well, hey, this synchronicity happened today, or guess what I did, or whatever. I am so here to cheer you on. I want to lift you up, and I want to be, you know, part of your journey, and I want you to be part of mine as well. Um, yeah, I have next month I'll share one of my well, actually two things that should be completed by the end of next month, and yeah, I'm going to put a big old check mark on that page so I can move on to another goal. Um, but thank you all for joining me tonight, and I do hope that we get a little bit more people. I think what's that last Wednesday? The March 25th or something like that. Did I have that written down?
So will you do next month's in addition to March 18th?
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
so March 18th is at the studio. That is
Mhm.
not free. That's gonna be $33 exchange. But we're gonna really dig
Okay.
deep into those spiritual universal laws. So I really feel like if you have a good understanding of the playbook of the universe, then it helps you to understand how to maneuver them and work with that, the individual laws and the energies that go along with it. And it's all tied in together, and it's when I tell you it's not anything you've never really heard of before, but maybe just hearing it all in one seating might click for you in some way. I know it did for me when I actually took this workshop from somebody else, and yes, I am stealing content, but she knows it. So and then yeah, I'm going to continue the manifest monthly every month for a while, and if it loses interest, it loses interest, but it's just something I feel called to do, and I am going to do it. I'm just checking March, which is the 29th. So it's not a portal day. So maybe we'll get some more people on board. And um, I know that there's a couple people that want the replay of this too. So maybe they'll join in as well. So that would be awesome. Anybody have any other questions before I end this call?
Sharon, I
Anybody?
actually have a quick question about can you tell me what threes mean? Like what the meaning behind number threes are? I have been noticing a lot of 333, and I noticed it 3 different times today, 333. And so I was just curious, like, what that means.
There's a lot of different interpretations of this, and I know that I've actually been digging into this a little bit deeper myself because I have been seeing so many repetitive numbers like crazy. In one
Right.
day yesterday, I had twos, I had fours, I had nines, I had 12s. It was just insane. And I'm in tune with the ones, the twos, the fours, the nines, and the 12s, but I don't quite know what the threes are. But I have heard that it's a Trinity symbol.
Mhm.
Nicole, do you know what it is exactly? You want to share?
Yeah, so I always interpret it as it is a trinity. It's the ultimate number of support. That's like three sides of a triangle, so it's everything's equal foundation. Um, and it's the Holy Ghost, spirit, or mind, body, spirit. So it's the culmination of everything together. It's a very positive number.
Thank you.
Right. And yeah, the other thing was, so I was going to add to that, the spirit team is what I call it. God, universe, angels, ancestors, whatever, whatever it is that you believe in, just that your spirit team is right there. They're balanced, you're balanced, that's what I get from the threes anyway. Haven't
That's what I've
seen
been
many of
reading.
them.
I saw it 3 different times today on a truck that was next to me in traffic. Then there was a code on the bottom of the computer at work. And then I looked at my clock and it was 333. And I was like, stop it, okay? What's happening here?
It's no
So it
warning.
was,
It's not a warning. It's just a
yeah,
reassurance. That's how
great.
I take those numbers anyway. They're reassuring to me and on some level. Uh, the ones that I'm actually kind of tuning into now, which I never really noticed before, is sequential numbers. I'm getting a lot of like 345 or 876, or you know what I mean? Like I'm getting that kind of sequence now. And I know there's meanings behind that too, but that's my own research that I got to do. I'm not quite there on the numerology.
Sure. Thank
Not
you. I
really my
appreciate it.
forte. Yeah. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and end this call and get this recording going on my computer. So thank you all for being here tonight. I am so happy. And like I said, reach out to me if you want to reach out and, ask me any questions or just throw me out some feedback. Something's happening. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And like I said, next month I'll report on. I don't want to say anything yet because there's one that I'm kind of like, if I don't tell anyone. It's just one little thing, but you'll understand it next month. All right. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Have an
Thank
awesome
you.
month. All right. Bye, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.